If experiences pass and disappear, why do some meanings remain active long after the experience itself has ended? This question challenges a deeply rooted modern assumption that meaning is derived directly from experience. According to this view, experiences generate meaning in proportion to their intensity or duration. When the experience fades, meaning should fade with it. Yet human life repeatedly contradicts this assumption. A brief encounter, a single sentence, or a moment lasting only seconds can reorganize an entire life. Meanwhile, long and intense experiences, years of work, relationships, or achievements may leave little lasting significance once they end. This paradox suggests that meaning and experience do not operate on the same level. Experience is temporal and sensory. Meaning, however, appears to operate at a deeper structural layer of perception and identity. This is where Ibn Arabi introduces a crucial distinction. For him, meaning does not belong to the duration or intensity of events. Meaning belongs to being and perception itself. What remains is not the experience, but the reorganization it produces. This is not emotional memory, it is a precise ontological and cognitive distinction. Modern culture increasingly equates meaning with experience. People pursue intense travel, extreme emotions, novelty, and constant stimulation in the belief that richer experiences automatically generate deeper meaning. Yet the result is often the opposite: exhaustion, emptiness, and dissatisfaction. From a psychological perspective, several mechanisms explain this confusion. Hedonic adaptation shows that emotional intensity fades quickly, no matter how powerful the stimulus. Salience bias causes the mind to confuse what feels intense with what is important. Narrative memory research shows that meaning is often constructed after an experience, not during it. As a result, people develop experience-driven lifestyles. They move from one event to another, expecting fulfillment, only to feel burned out when the emotional charge dissipates. Even highly active lives can feel existentially empty. From a neurological perspective, this makes sense. The brain does not encode meaning through sensation alone. Meaning emerges through integration, how experiences reorganize internal models of self, values, and reality. The core limitation of the modern view is this: experience is transient, while meaning is structural. Without understanding this distinction, meaning appears fragile and elusive. Ibn Arabi approached meaning not as an emotional effect, but as an ontological property of reality. He was a metaphysician of mana meaning and wujded being, concerned with how significance persists beyond events. Importantly, Ibn Arabi does not deny the value of experience, nor does he promote abstraction detached from life. Instead, he argues that experiences are expressions, while meaning belongs to deeper layers of being that experiences can reveal, but not contain. His core principle is simple but radical. Experiences pass, but meaning is rooted in being itself. Meaning survives because it is not stored in sensation, but integrated into perception and identity historically. This anticipates phenomenology, depth psychology, and modern meaning-making theories. Contemporary research in cognitive integration and memory consolidation echoes this view. What matters most is not what happens, but how it reorganizes internal structure. Ibn Arabi draws a foundational distinction between experience and meaning. Experience occurs in time. It begins, unfolds, and ends. Meaning, by contrast, is not bound to temporal duration. In cognitive terms, this mirrors the difference between episodic memory and semantic memory. Episodic memory stores events, semantic memory stores understanding, values, and frameworks. Episodic memories fade, semantic structures persist. Consider a single conversation that changes how a person understands responsibility, purpose, or self-worth. The sensory details may disappear, but the meaning remains active for decades. This happens because meaning reorganizes perception itself. The insight here is critical. Meaning survives, not because it is remembered, but because it reshapes structure. Once perception is reorganized, life is interpreted differently. Even when the original experience is gone, meaning outlives experience because it transforms how reality is perceived. Not because the event was intense or prolonged. Ibn Arabi explains this process through the concept of tajalli, or disclosure. Meaning does not accumulate gradually like data. It appears when perception aligns with a deeper structure of reality. This explains why brief moments can carry enduring significance. From a scientific perspective, this parallels insight-based learning and sudden schema reorganization. Research shows that understanding often arrives abruptly after long preparation, not incrementally. A person may struggle with a question for years, then suddenly grasp it in a moment. That understanding does not fade because it was not stored as information. It reorganized the cognitive framework itself. This corrects a common misconception. Duration does not determine depth. Meaning emerges when perception becomes aligned, not when experience is prolonged. Meaning is disclosed, not accumulated. Ibn Arabi uses the concept of the heart not as emotion, but as a faculty of integrative perception. The intellect records, experiences, analyzes details, and categorizes events. The heart integrates significance. Modern neuroscience supports this distinction. Meaning involves whole network integration, not isolated cognitive modules. Emotional cognitive coherence, not intensity, predicts long-term significance. This explains why people often know that something matters without being able to explain. Why the heart integrates meaning even when details are forgotten. Meaning is not sentimentality. It is structural integration. Meaning persists because it becomes part of how reality is perceived, not because it is emotionally recalled. Ibn Arabi introduces barzakh as an interface, neither pure experience nor abstract meaning, but the threshold between them. Meaning often matures after experience, not during it. Cognitive science supports this through memory, consolidation, and meaning. Abstraction. The brain continues to reorganize experiences long after they occur, extracting significance over time. This is why events often become meaningful years later. The meaning was not absent. It was not yet integrated. Meaning does not belong to the moment of experience. It belongs to the ongoing reorganization of perception. Ibn Arabi explains that intensity alone does not guarantee integration. Modern psychology agrees. Dopamine-driven stimulation creates excitement, not meaning without reflective assimilation. Intensity fades without leaving structure behind. This clarifies a crucial misconception. Emotional impact is not existential meaning. Experience excites, meaning reorganizes. When experiences fail to reshape perception, they leave little residue once the stimulation ends. Meaning outlives experience only when it transforms structure. Practically, this requires a cognitive shift. Meaning is not pursued through stimulation, but through integration. This means valuing reflection over accumulation and allowing significance to emerge over time. Neuroscience. This reduces reward-chasing behavior and increases psychological coherence. It is particularly relevant during life transitions, spiritual inquiry, and burnout recovery. A practical example is reflecting on ordinary moments without demanding intensity. Meaning often emerges quietly. Without spectacle, the result is greater stability and lasting significance. Not dependent on constant activity, experience passes. Meaning endures. What matters most is not what happens, but what remains. Meaning belongs to being, not to events. It outlives experience because it reshapes perception, not because it is remembered. Ibn Arabi offers a model of life where depth arises not from accumulating experiences, but from meanings that quietly reorganize how reality is understood. In this model, significance is not lost when events fade, because it was never located in the event to begin with.